So I've acquired recently, today, some things. Uh, Quite a few things. Quite a few expensive things. It was worth it. So I just got back from a trip to Chicago to stay with a friend, and ended up going to Chicago Music Exchange, and I was just there hanging around. I was on vacation, so bought my first fuzz pedal. Look at that, the Browne Amplification T4. Never had a fuzz pedal before, but I plugged this in and it sounded great. That 2 transistor typology really fits the way I like to play guitar, because you can clean it up by backing up the volume knob, and beautiful. And there are 2 other things that are Christmas presents, both to me and the other to me from me. From Sweetwater. This is one of 2 things. Ah, yes. Can you guess what it is? Obviously, it's a JHS pedal of some sort. Oh, and it said it on the title right there. This is, of course, as you've seen, a very satisfying unboxing video, the Colorbox V2. Let me give you a nice thumbnail, like the report of the week. The Colorbox V2. Why did I buy this? Well, I was looking at microphones because I always like to buy things to kind of force myself to go record a song, because I always go, I don't have good mics. So I was looking at ribbon mics, and I'm like, I've got a great, the SM7B, but I've got like an old interface. So I can use this as a preamp for my microphones on vocals, guitar. I can use it direct in as a direct in for bass or acoustic guitar as a preamp. I can plug an XLR straight into it, use it as a preamp of a mic, and also I can just use it as a rad drive pedal. So it is it's a little expensive. It was $500 after tax. I might be going insane. This I didn't show you before, but 179 might be going insane. What is the other box? I hear you all cry out in agony. What's the other box? Well, my friends, what is in this other box from Sweetwater? Inside the box is that a Strymon packaging? It is, of course, the Volante. I've been a Strymon simp. I was in the church world, okay? I dreamt and hailed the timeline in the big sky. I never owned one. But now that I'm out of the church world, I still have always wanted a Strymon, and the Volante seemed like the perfect one for me. Look at this unboxing experience. Look at that. I gotta love a pedal that comes with a USB port. That's... what is that? Come with a power supply, doesn't it? It does come with a power supply. Interesting. So Strymon pedals come with power supplies. That's cool. I should say, I do have a Strymon pedal. It's a power supply, though. Look at that. Clunk, clunk, clunk. The Volante. Yeah, I love post-rock, shoegaze, just ambient stuff as well. And I've been needing a Strymon for a good long time. And ever since I saw this one, I'm like, that's the perfect amount of thing. It's not like super nerdy, like well, just super nerdy. It's not like, I almost used the word digital. It is digital. It's not set up like the timeline in that it's just like a bunch of presets that you go through. That's really versatile. You can certainly do more with the timeline, but this is the only thing I've really used on the timeline was kind of the Echo tape machine kind of deal. So this will do that in like a cooler package, in my opinion. So yeah, I've got some new things. There was actually one more thing. Do you want to see it? I'm not sure if it's worthwhile. Yeah, this is a 2012 American vintage reissue of a 62 Stratocaster. It was it was also quite the penny. About after tax $2,000. It's okay. It's okay. Look at it. Look at it. I haven't ever like gone into a guitar shop and fallen in love before. I'd never done that. We were actually, me and my friend, just about to leave. You know, I was looking for jazz masters. I've been wanting a jazz master forever. And I've always thought in the back of my mind, I'll be a Strat guy. You know, I'll have a Strat someday. But yeah, I sat down on one of the couches they had in the front, and this thing was fatefully sitting there, and I pick it up, and I'm like, oh my goodness. That feels and looks, it's the exact color I always wanted a Stratocaster in. The neck is like a dream. I like the lacquered neck. I don't like the matte neck. It's the perfect shape. It's not super beefy or thick or whatever, but it just feels so good. It's, you know, the 62, so it's pretty cool. It's got the three-way switch, which is interesting. But the 2012, this is the last year Fender produced the American Vintage series before they replaced it with whatever came next. But these are pretty commonly hailed as excellent guitars, and both my friend and I agreed with that. I was like, you know, maybe I just need a Strat. So I went and picked up a Mexican Strat, and like the body felt different. Like I put it in my body, in my lap, and like it felt bigger. It was way heavier. The neck, the frets were huge. It was just annoying, frankly, because that guitar was $600 and this one was $1,800. But yeah, I took this guitar back to one of the rooms, and I was like, maybe I'll just buy a fuzz. I can spend $200. So I, pick up this in the JHS fuzz, which I didn't like, the 3 Series, but this was like perfect. I plugged into like one of their Marshall amps and this guitar, and it just sang. As it turned out, the fuzz face and Stratocaster it's a pretty common pairing, and I finally saw why. So I was never a Strat guy, but I am definitely a Strat guy now. This is my first really high quality high quality electric guitar, and I'm chuffed to bits with it. So yeah, let's see how all this sounds. So apparently, I'm a Strat guy now. You know, I've never had like a premium guitar before. I've had a lot of an obsession with buying, you know, quirky $500 guitars, which I enjoy, I like. But even actually just touching the neck of that, you can really tell the difference. And kind of my life motto has been that I'd rather live in a nice small house than a tacky big house. And I've just recently, especially since inheriting a couple guitars, you can check out those videos, realized I just have so many guitars just around in my 500 square foot studio apartment. And it's like, so you might be thinking, so why on God's green earth would you go and buy another one? Well, like I said, it's better to have a couple nice things. And that guitar, I've never like lusted after a guitar before. And if it weren't for, this is also kind of the year of the present. That's my theme for this year. It's New Year's Eve as I'm recording this. And just sitting in Chicago Music Exchange yesterday, yeah, it was yesterday, with my friend Wesley, plugging in this pedal into that guitar was just magic. I've never fallen in love like that before. So I'm thinking like, it's going to be like $2,000 for both this pedal and that guitar. I'm like, I can afford that if I put it on a payment plan. I can put a down payment on it, like half of it right now, and then, you know, for the next couple months, pay the rest of it off. I'm like, but is that the wise thing? I come back to that old Protestant guilt, Protestant work ethic. And I'm like, I don't know. But I do not yet have buyer's remorse. I still have that like deep-seated thing in my chest, like, oh man, now you have to pay for that. But I have that all the time during any commitment, school, whatever, and it's always good. And just sitting down playing it earlier, wow, I think that's my sound. I think I found my sound. After doodling around with the Colorbox, I think that it's gonna be it's just a studio tool. I think I'm gonna have it on my desk, and because it's pretty good, I can use it just as like a headphone amp. So if it's late at night and I want to record something or jam something, it sounds great. There's a lot of tweakability in there. So I think that's what the Colorbox is going to be for. So basically just amp in a box, preamp in a box. So I think it's going to stay off my board. But I'm loving this. I'm going to have to figure out the Volante. There's always all kinds of interesting things in Strymon pedals to figure out. I haven't eaten in a long time. So yeah, I'm pretty stoked. And also, it's not gonna be on the board because I don't need 4 overdrive pedals. And honestly, I don't think I really need that Dispatch Master on there anymore. So I've got a couple things I can maybe sell. I've always been bad at selling things. I just like acquiring things. I don't want to be a hoarder. So a couple of these guitars that I haven't played in forever, including that little Washburn back there, which is pretty. That Duosonic is neat. I might keep that just because it's a cool thing to hang on a wall. I might also keep the Washburn. I don't know. I'm indecisive. Anyways, thanks for joining this vlog. Here are some more tones. Maybe. Or maybe not. Maybe this is the end of the vlog. And subscribe to see more. Taco Bell. Peace. Update. I just realized where the video is going to end. Last night, after I bought the guitar, I was super tired. Then I went and laid down to sleep in my friend's house where I was staying in Chicago. And even though I was tired, I couldn't sleep. Just had things going through my mind. I wanted to write a script for a film I'm working on. Wanted to do a bunch of stuff. And also was like, I just committed $2,000. I make money for Huntsville, Alabama, but not like throw away $2,000 money, but who really has that? But yeah, so I got up finally after like 2 hours laying in bed and sat in their dark living room with the street light shining through the front door. Actually, the back door because it's a basement that they're renting out. And I just wrote this song. Earlier, my friend had said, hey, there's this riff that I've had for ages, and it's like wistful and hopeful, but I can't figure out where to go with it. And the tune of it just like stuck with me. And like he said, yeah, if you want to write something to it, definitely do. And I'm like, I absolutely do. So a couple hours later, after I couldn't sleep, got up and wrote this little tune. So yeah, here's a rendition of it, I suppose. Definitely not the full finished product because I want it to be full and finished. Subscribe for more for the finished product. This Taco Bell slaps, by the way. Sometimes it just hits. And right now, it's hitting. Okay, so I've plugged the JHS Colorbox into the interface. So at the moment, I'm kind of using it as an amp, which I think is probably where I'll keep it, just sitting on the desk. And it requires some fiddling to get the right sound you want, the sound you hear in your head, I suppose. What is that? 1/60th of a second, not 1/48th. Anyways. Yeah, and I think it's sounding pretty good. I was trying to get like a super clean sound, but it just wasn't happening. It was like fizzing a little bit, but I think that's just because I never play with a clean sound, with like a clean amp. I always play with a broken up, 15 watt. So I took the step up, to step 2 or step 3. I think I'm on step 2 right now. And like immediately everything just got better. So Yeah, so that's just the Volante. That's the only pedal that's on right now. In the chain is the Fuzz and the Julia and the SD1 BD2, whatever. And that's a very cool sound, I think. I think step 2 is kind of probably where I'd keep it, because that's normally where I'd have an amp. This isn't an amp model, it's a model of a Neve mixer, but this is kind of where I would play an amp if it were an amp, but it's actually a mixer, but it's a preamp, but it's noodling. Not a good guitar player. I should fix that, especially since I've got this to live up to. Yeah, so the thought process behind getting all this crap. I love music. I love recording music. I'm a songwriter. I write songs never ceasingly. Very poetic way of saying that. And it's just, if you need a piece of gear to do something, then you don't. But also, it's more fun, and the cooler stuff you have, the more fun it is to do what you're doing, the more likely you're going to take that, 1% step to actually stand up and do something, because that's most of what it is. Just starting, raising a fist to the malaise of life, to the want to just veg out on YouTube, like you're doing right now, and make something, put some work into creating a song. And I tried to use, the fact that I'm just in this tiny apartment as an excuse, which it is kind of excuse. The way I used to record music was like in the bedroom of my parents' house, so like drum kit, loud guitar amps, loud bass amp, studio monitors, and that kind of stuff. I'm sure my parents loved me. But yeah, now I'm just that much closer. Everything I own is like, makes me really excited to do this, and I hope that will continue. So yeah, to force myself to do something. This is a song that Wesley sketched out a year ago, and he gave to me to write a song last night, and I did last night. So I'll probably record something like that.
Potential love, potential peace, a dream espoused by a drink, a partly cloudy summer's eve, fate not destined to defeat. Black tights meet blonde hair, brown eyes, comforting to say the least. Radiant, unapologetically, to be and breathe and speak and dream. Plan, improve, and rant and lose present personalities. Aware of being lost on idle feet, forlorn, blinded. The mood of the week, miss the mark and see the present passing me, running free but lost. Lackadaisical, mind, body, soul, attempting effort, I'm sure. Self-aware at least, if you would have me, I'd have you in a beat. we're here. And what more could there be but now, you and me? Tomorrow's a dream prepared for, hope for sure, but count on nothing without a signature. Lost on idle feet, forlorn blinded me, the mood of the week. Miss the mark and see the present passing me, running free but lost. Lackadaisical, mind, body, soul, a tempting advert, I'm sure. Self-aware at least, if you would have me, I'd have you in a beat. Sex and love and longing souls numb to all since 17. The days are long and weeks roll on, but years are but completely clear evening air, sandy shores, the beach between your toes, the azure sky from maroon and yellow hues turns my attention to you, a wistful soul projecting hope. Empathetic, maybe I could dare for a life on moving feet, strong, stupid, sweet, a mood for the weak. Hit the mark and see the present eternally, running free and found.
I've missed that. Just obsessing over a thing. It's fun to play around and get that song out. It's not obviously complete, needs drums, but there's not much I can do about that studio apartment. But I'm in love with the Colorbox. This is exactly the studio tool I needed. I ran the vocals through it. I ran all the guitars through it. Also a big fan of the T4 fuzz and obviously the Volante. But the Volante is exactly what I figured it would be. The fuzz is a fuzz, but like I was worried that I might be spending too much money on this right here. But I am incredibly happy that I decided to pick that up. It was well worth the $500. When, if you look at it like a guitar pedal for $500, it's wildly expensive. Let me just, it's not gonna focus ever. But if you look at it as like a preamp studio tool and guitar pedal and amp modeler, kind of, then it's, say it's about 4 feet, then it's a beautiful tool. I really enjoy this, especially just getting to sit here again and write music on my own in the night. That's been typically the place I'd always done it before. The vocals sound way better than any other vocal I've ever recorded, and I literally, that was my second take. The first back guitar part, first take, and yeah, it's not an easy thing. It's not plug and play. But you can do so much with it. I tuned the vocals, I tuned all that stuff. I want to get bass in here, but I'll wait for the final track, the final edit of this when I get a drum kit. But the camera's, my 128 gigs is almost out of memory. Thanks for joining me on this adventure. Yeah, subscribe, do that whole thing. 6 seconds. Happy New Year. Hope you enjoyed the song.